time that a letter from the Pentagon to Democratic Congressman Adam Smith was made public, a letter which confirmed that the Department of Defense has spent thousands of man-hours and millions of taxpayer dollars responding to the Benghazi investigations. Will it be enough to end Darrell Issa's quest? Joining me now to help determine an answer to that question is a Democratic representative from Washington's 9th District and ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee, Congressman Adam Smith. Congressman Smith, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for talking about what is a perplexing situation on Capitol Hill. In your eyes, has Darrell Issa, as the chair of the House Oversight Committee, ever enacted or led the charge on a piece of reform that you think is meaningful?
Well, there's actually nothing perplexing about it. Darrell Issa, and not just Darrell Issa, by the way, there are other committees, including the Armed Services Committee, that have over and over and over again looked into Benghazi, and the IRS as well. Look, they're being partisan. They desperately want something that they can blame on the Obama administration. That is not the role of oversight for the Armed Services Committee. For the Government Oversight Committee. Yes, we are supposed to exercise oversight, but that oversight is to determine facts, to learn what happened, to figure out how to prevent things like this from happening in the future, but that's not what they're doing. They are desperate to find something to embarrass the president. The only problem is there is nothing there, and millions of dollars and thousands of man-hours later, that is abundantly apparent. There is nothing there, and on Benghazi, it was, I think, well over a year ago that even the Republican-led House Armed Services Committee said the Department of Defense did everything they could have done in that case. And yet, even after saying that, they went back and did another investigation and issued another report at the urging of the Republican leadership. This is a witch hunt. This is not congressional oversight. And it is a sad waste of dollars, a waste of time, and just something else that undermines the credibility of this institution.
Well, and that seems to be a goal, too, right? It's easy to criticize government and call it ineffective when you're gumming up the works and wasting man-hours and resources on stuff like this. But I wonder how much your letter to Chairman Issa has gained traction inside the Republican Party, because this is also an issue of Department of Defense resources. And at a time when we were talking about cutting budgets and sort of being fiscal hawks, is this really the best use of government resources? Have any Republicans come to you and said, we agree?
Yes, there have been some, months ago, many have said we need to stop doing this. And my hope is, at least on the House Armed Services Committee, which usually has a bipartisan tradition, Chairman Buck McKeon and I work very, very closely together, that at least on the Armed Services Committee, they will understand the need to move off this. But, it's a troubling trend, the partisanship. We've seen it on the Ukraine. The response from the Republican Party and on the Armed Services Committee, in many instances, has been nakedly partisan in the way they've tried to find some way to blame this on the Obama administration. That is not, again, Congress exercising the right oversight role. It's pure partisanship that undermines our credibility. Like you said, maybe there's a bunch of Republicans that say, as long as the country doesn't like Congress, so much the better. But it's not good for the country.
Indeed, it is not. Congressman Adam Smith, thank you for your efforts on Capitol Hill, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you.